the person sitting at home with their caravan in the driveway, a couple of things when we talk to them. They think that someone is going to take my van out and it will be ruined getting hired out. I'm not talking about every day, but if you've got some nice regular hires, that should be a good thing. What's going to happen? I've got to have special insurance, do I? I don't know. What about those ones that are sitting there going, oh, geez, I could never let anyone in my van. I guess it's not for them. Craig here from Caravans by the Campfire. Tracy's behind the camera today. But we do have Casey from Camplify.
Thanks for having me, Craig.
Welcome, Casey. We thought what we do, we get a lot of people asking questions about renting vans and hiring them out. And we just thought we'd get a professional on. Yeah. One of the market leaders, I think. You must be up there.
Yeah, we're doing pretty okay in Australia at the moment.
I don't know anyone other than Camplify.
I don't know if there's too many others out there currently, but yeah, I like to think we're doing a good job.
Can you just tell us briefly what Camplify is for those that don't know?
Look, we're probably best described as a peer-to-peer marketplace. So we connect owners of vans with hirers who are looking to lease them. Look after a large element of the administration, like damage protection, making sure the hires have been verified, so on and so forth. And we just let the owners get down to what they do best, is having thorough knowledge of their vans and letting other people enjoy them.
Right. So really what it's about is if you want to hire a van, you can go on to Camplify. This is one part of the business. You can go on there, look up, enter in where you're going and where you're starting your destination, you're travelling from, and then that'll present to you a whole range of vans.
Correct, yeah.
So and then there's some filters there. If you want a family van, you can select like a camper van or a camper trailer or a caravan. So that's one side of the business.
It is, yes.
And the other side is owners of current vans. Like there's 800,000 registered vans, right, in Australia. And a lot of them, I dare say, are sitting in people's driveways.
Not doing much.
Beyond a year, maybe 2 years, 5 years, doing absolutely nothing. Yeah. So an opportunity to rent them out is this Camplify platform.
Yeah, look, that's essentially where the business was born from. Our founder, who lives up in Newcastle, still lives there now. The story was he was walking around his neighbourhood one day, and similar to that concept, saw a ton of vans in driveways, and just thought, wouldn't it be great if you could hire directly from someone who owned it rather than going to a large company? And that's where the idea was born from.
And there are a number of other people on there now. Like we had an experience with On Point Caravans. And now we've even got this van listed through them. So they're like managing this van for us, so we don't even have to worry about it. Obviously there's a fee involved, but we just take the van to their place and it's stored there, or to their new place, which is very similar to this, I might add. A spectacular view, just out in the rural part of Sydney, right?
Starting part of the world.
Plenty of room. But we saw them initially because we were on this journey to find a caravan. So we thought, where we're going to rent a caravan from? And then they seemed to have any number of caravans. So we started there, and then we also hired some straight off the platform that we were interested in and we thought people were interested in to see. So you can get your van managed. So you don't have to do all the hard work yourself.
That is correct,
that right?
Yeah. So we've identified a few best-in-class operators, mainly up and down the eastern coast, that we've worked with to kind of assist them getting their businesses to the point that they can take other people's vans into their fleets, lease them out on the behalf of those owners that want to remain hands-off. As you said, obviously no one works for free, so there is a fee involved, but the purpose of it is we wanted to ensure that the vans are going to the people who are going to be adequately equipped to lease them to the best of their abilities and get some good numbers in terms of bookings coming through. So that's our certified manager program, and it's going very, very well at the moment, of which On Point one of those managers, and they are doing exceptional job.
Well, they've certainly got, our van's been rented out a few times now. It's only been there a month or so.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a good thing.
I mean, it's a good looking van, to be honest. I'd hire it.
Well, thanks very much. I would hire it. Everyone should hire it. So jump on the website. You talk about fees. So what the person sitting at home with their caravan in the driveway, a couple of things when we talk to them. They think that someone is going to take my van out and it will be ruined, right? And then others are thinking, oh, I'm not quite sure. Can I trust people that are hiring it? What's going to happen? I've got to have special insurance, do I? I don't know. Can you touch on a couple of those things?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
What should people be feeling? Like, obviously there is a risk. You're putting your van out there. It's for rent. That's why you have insurance. I think if you're not so lovey-dovey attached to it, you just put it there. It's a caravan. It gets used. You get some income, and away you go.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So what about those ones that are sitting there going, oh, geez, I could never let anyone in my van. I guess it's not for them, you know?
Definitely, it comes back to the emotional attachment. And if your van is your absolute baby and the thought of someone else sleeping in your bed makes your skin crawl, it might not be the best choice for you, no. And we completely understand that.
It's like a hotel, though.
You'd look at it that way. I mean, I don't know if people view caravans as
Maybe
hotels.
Not. Maybe not.
But look, touching on the fees and the damage protection and all that type of element, so that's part of the business model that Camplify built. So we wanted to make it really, really easy and pain-free for people to be able to lease their vans. So how the on-hire protection aspect works is Camplify, the business, has a fleet policy with an insurer, okay? And that fleet policy covers every van listed on the platform that goes out for hire. Now, it has been tailored for Camplify use, but you'll find it's pretty similar to a standard comprehensive policy. But it's our damage protection product that we offer to owners. Now, owners are welcome to go out and get their own insurance policy. That's fine. We just vet that to make sure it meets our compliance measures. But we've tried to structure it so that it's a one-stop shop for anyone who's looking to lease their van out. Hence the reason why we've tailored it that way, and it does work very well. We do have a paid premium option, which means we actually reduce our fees in half. So standard commission is 13%, not a whole lot. And then under the premium option, we drop that down to 6.5%. So if this van was hired at $100 a day, we would only take $6.50 of that 100 for every day that it was out on hire. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. And that's what we have, actually, that premium plan, where we're just paying a fee every month, which is all encompassing for insurance, and it halves the fee that we actually pay to Camplify. And away you go. So we don't have to worry. And then as an owner of the van, we can come out and take the van out, and we get everything except the on-road service. Is that how it works? That's correct,
yes. So under premium, you can access the Camplify fleet policy for personal cover. So, your position, you've joined the platform, you've done some hires, you upgraded to the premium option. If you were towing this on your own holiday and, God forbid, someone ran into you from behind, you would be able to lodge a claim under Camplify's damage protection policy. Okay? Excuse me. But look, we understand that, people might only want to do one hire or two hires of the year. I strongly recommend, if people are considering it, list your van. It's very easy. It's probably only a half-hour process. See what inquiries you get. You're under no obligation to accept inquiries. There's no penalty for declining them. We want to empower owners to be as comfortable as possible. Do one or two hires, see how you like it. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. And but more often than not, we find a lot of people do get very attracted to it, and it's more sharing not just your van, but the Australian adventure with other people that might not have the money to afford a full van. We've got a tremendous community, and we hear some really, really great stories of hires that have happened. And that's what Camplify is all about. It's not just sharing vans, but sharing the great Australian outdoors.
Now, Camplify, you're on the Australian Stock Exchange.
We are.
So it's the real deal.
It is the real deal, yeah.
And you've got a couple of other interests like New Zealand, Europe, that kind of thing. So you got a lot of experience and knowledge about this type of industry. All things considered, Camplify, just having that facility to go, oh, my van's sitting in the driveway, and I'm a believer that the more it's used, the more likely it is to be better maintained, and things aren't, sort of rusting up while you're not using it.
Corrode if you're next to the beach.
You go into the fridge at Christmas time because you're taking the van away, it doesn't work all of a sudden. Those kinds of things. So if it's just getting hired out, I'm not talking about every day, but if you've got some nice regular hires, that should be a good thing.
I mean, look, we do find it helps people cover the cost of their vans, which even if you're breaking even is a win just there. We look to hopefully try and offset some of those costs for our users.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've had a full spectrum of owners join, people who've started with a camper trailer and then upgraded to a hybrid, then upgraded to a van, and then they go from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. We've had owners join 2-3 years ago that are now using Camplify as a sole source of income and operating fleets of 40 to 50 vans. So we do have the full spectrum of owners of just casual users through to full commercial operators. And it's fantastic. It's great to see people of all shapes and sizes using the platform to what best suits them.
Yeah. We have another special guest coming, and then we'll get back to you, okay?
Sounds good.
Right, let's go. Hey, we've got Rob here from On Point Caravan Hire.
How you going, Craig?
We've been chatting with Casey, and he's been telling our viewers, really, what Camplify is about. Now, you're like a managing...
We're a managed service for Camplify. Yeah. We also run our own vans as well as managed services, of which yours is one of them. We do the handovers, we do the cleaning, we do the looking after it and everything else for you. It's working really well for the clients that we have at the moment, and we're looking to expand on that. But
that's a good thing. And I think people like On Point Caravan. That's how we come to even look. We just looked it up, and here your company was, and you had 5 or 6 vans of the brands and makes that we thought, well, we need to find out about that van.
Yep.
So we hired them, and then we've sort of gone from there. Obviously, established some rapport.
We've tried to keep a different, same sort of line of vans through couples vans and family vans.
Yeah.
Tried to keep a couple of different models so that people can try different models of the same brand before they go and buy one.
Yeah.
That was the main sort of start of our business.
That's a good thing.
And now we get a lot of repeat business for people that have decided that, no, we don't want to buy a van yet. We're not ready to use it full time. We'll just hire one for the next couple of years until we retire and do buy one.
So tell us a yarn about people hiring it. What are the key things? What happens to you? You're the owner, you're the hirer. Do you get a call every half an hour about... Because some of these people that would be renting...
Some people haven't had a van before in their life.
Yeah.
Some people have done camping and that sort of thing years ago, had an old school van that didn't have the ensuite, didn't have... All of our vans have ensuites. They're all water tanks. They're all set up for off-grid or caravan parks.
Yeah.
Caravan parks are simple. Plug in the power, plug in the water, off you go. Off-grid, you're then looking at water tanks and water usage, and it scares a lot of people to start with.
Yeah.
We try and keep it nice and simple.
Yeah.
Walk in, turn the hot water on, turn the power pump on, off you go, and enjoy your holiday.
I found that the first time we hired a van, you spent a considerable time handing that van over to us.
We spend anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half to show people how to use the van, how to do things within the van and that sort of thing, how everything works, run through it, set them up so that they aren't going out blind.
And it comes with an instruction manual as well.
Yeah, look, we've put together a booklet that shows you how most things work, and also in that booklet are all the manuals.
Right.
For everything. So a lot of people do that. There's a lot of people too that do research before they come and hire the van.
Right.
We'll send them videos.
That's a good
We'll
idea.
send them a handover video before they actually come and hire the van.
Yeah.
All cars are set up differently too.
Yeah.
We supply all the tow hitches for all the different cars.
Right.
Not everyone has their car set up to tow.
Yeah.
So we sort of accommodate for that as well.
Yeah. What's your experience with the types of cars people turn up with? Is that a requirement when you're looking to rent a van?
We get phone calls from people with Toyota Corollas wanting to hire a van. The problem is your Toyota Corolla isn't going to tow a van. You need a larger SUV or four-wheel drive.
Right.
The people who have the smaller cars in the car for around the city and they want to try it, we've got 3 hire cars that we hire out as well, which are suited to the vans.
Yeah.
So you can try that as well.
Okay.
We've got clients that don't want to change their city car for the moment.
Yeah.
They want to still go away on holidays and still have a holiday.
Yeah.
They hire the car and the van.
Yeah. Okay. I think last thing, when we hired our first van, it was fully equipped. Not everyone has everything in it. You know, like you look up some sites and they go, if you want a chair, it's $5 extra. If you want a barbecue, it's this.
We've tried to include
you guys
everything.
Seem to have everything.
Yeah, we've
there.
tried to include everything so that people sort of turn up with your clothes, your food, and your alcohol.
Yeah.
Go and have a holiday, come home.
Right.
We essentially call it an Airbnb on wheels.
Okay.
Turn up, have your holiday, enjoy it, hand it back, off you go.
Sounds fantastic to me. Okay, so you better get on that if you want to rent a van. Casey's back. Well
Hello
done.
again.
Listen, a couple of things. I'll just ask you a bit more directly.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
If I'm an owner of a van and I want to put it on your platform as something to hire for people,
Yep.
you've got an onboarding program, haven't you?
Yeah, we do.
And that educates them about everything, doesn't it?
Pretty much. I mean, the last thing we want someone to do is to come on board to the platform and not know how to conduct themselves adequately.
Right.
It's also a risk mitigation aspect in that we want people to be adequately educated to lease the van. So, say for yourselves, prior to jumping on board with Cassie and Robert on point, if you wanted to list your van, it's as simple as jumping on camplify.com.au, okay, heading to the section for owners and following the prompts.
Yeah.
And then we have a complete onboarding course which touches on how to build an attractive listing, what you should do in terms of pricing your van, what to expect in terms of a handover, and also how to manage any damage that may occur.
Right.
So we have what we call a pre and post hire checklist, which is essentially like a condition report of the van before it goes out. And you do that yourself as an owner. And you do the same thing when it comes back, so that if there is any dings or damage and things like that, you can report it to us and we can levy the hirer for those charges.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all sounds pretty good. I'd feel a bit comfortable. We've actually had a van before this one, like a hybrid, that we did put on the platform.
Yeah, right.
That's before we knew anyone at all. We put it on the platform. Tracy went through the onboarding process.
How'd you find it?
And what it sort of made us do was to check every little detail in the van. And I think when we were hiring it out, it was in a far better condition than when we had it ourselves. You know, there are little things you want to fix and you go, nah, don't worry about that. But as soon as you want to hire it, it's like, oh, okay, I better make sure that those screws are done up. And I better make sure that the right hoses are in there in the right place so that people can use them. And when we did that, we had absolutely no dramas.
Yeah, right.
Take the time and effort to do that pre-checklist, like if you are hiring your van, and take the time and effort to do the post one. Now, there are some things, like when people go out and, you might get a little mark here and there, which is normal wear and tear.
Correct.
So you're not going to, you're not going to get too carried away. But, if there's a big gouge down the side of your caravan, obviously there's a situation, isn't there?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
and you'll have to get it fixed, right? But that's
realistic.
a
worst case scenario.
Yeah, it is. But, if it's just got, a little bit too much mud on it or something, it's no big deal.
Our rough number is only about 5% of hires that happen through the platform have a damage claim aspect attached to it. So it's still relatively low numbers.
Yeah.
But it'd be far-fetched to think that your van's going to be in pristine condition if you've hired it for 2.5 years or something like that.
Yeah,
so it's give and take.
Okay. So I think, just to wrap things up then, Camplify, it's great that you could come on, because we've been chatting for a fair while about just getting the message out there that, look, this is a vehicle that if your van is sitting at home doing absolutely nothing and you'd like to make a little bit of pocket money, it's not like you're going to rent it out every day of the year, unless you hit the jackpot and there's a big flood somewhere and they want vans in a hurry and they take your van and the government's playing, right?
Yeah.
So unless that happens, you can expect that your van will be rented out around holiday periods, and you might get a traveller turn up that wants it for 2 weeks or whatever. So it's not going to be an everyday thing, and I think that's important to realise. If they think, oh, I'm going to rent my van out and it's going to be out every day, all day, that's probably less likely.
No, you're not leasing a house.
Yeah, no, that's right. But it's a good thing. So we've got to talk to you. Anyone out there that wants to list their van on there for hire, that's another good thing as well.
Yeah, definitely. And look, if any of viewers have any questions or concerns, just give us a call. We've got a full team that talk people through the different scenarios.
We'll put some links below as well about how to get in touch, what the website is.
Perfect.
Some of the locations. What can we expect moving forward, do you think? Is there any lightning bolt going to strike?
Look, we'd really like to build out a more robust service here in Australia, and we understand whilst we've got a good offering of the fleet here, we've got a good mix of drivables and towables. I mean, as you said at the start, there's 800,000 registered vans in Australia. I think we've only got about 1.5% of that listed on Campfire. So we'd like to avail our services to as many people as possible. And there's a few other key areas in Australia we're looking to build out as well, a little more of the regional areas. So that's where I see that the next chapter of Camplify moving to.
Okay, hope you enjoyed that episode. Lots to think about, giving you as much information as we can. Want to follow that up further, check out the details in the description. Lots of links there. We'll see you next time. Beautiful in here. It's like a magic forest. So we're going to go in there and see if we can get stuck.